Hi, I'm Sergeant First Class Floyd, and mentoring is the subject of this message. So what is it? What is mentoring? I think that many people start to gloss over or zone out when they start hearing about mentoring. And I think that's because it's always been presented in a way that makes it seem maybe too scholarly or too academic, or that it exists at a higher level than the person hearing about it. That's not the case, but we're going to get into it. I'm going to explain a lot of things during this video, and most of it's going to seem like common sense to most of you, but it all ties into the mentoring process. So let's just start with the basics. What is mentoring? Mentoring is a long-term relationship with the goal of continuous improvement between the mentor and the mentee. This must be built over time. It's not a one-time done sort of thing. So why is it important? You may be thinking, especially if you're lower enlisted, won't my NCOs just tell me what to do and then correct me if I do something wrong? Isn't that mentoring? No, it's different than that. It's a lot different than that. It's different from just supervising somebody. It's not just correcting or watching to make sure that all the T's are crossed or that a particular task is done the right way. It involves inspiration, and it involves enough earned respect on both sides so that the soldier wants to improve and meet the expectations of the mentor. You see, without something to aspire to and an example to emulate, soldiers are much more likely to stagnate where they are. So let's talk about how to mentor. First, most important, leaders have to care. Mentoring will never even get off the ground unless the leaders care. Leaders must possess the internal desire and commitment to involve themselves. Recognize the need for mentoring. Mentorship is always needed, always, although not always talked about. It's a basic component of development, and it is happening. It is. But the quality of it is up to us. Poor mentorship will occur by default, where no good mentorship exists. Continuity of leadership and skill sets is critical to keep the Army moving in a proficient manner. So take an active interest in the process. It's going to take time. It can happen within the confines of drill weekends, but doing it that way will take much longer to mature. Mentoring involves, and sometimes heavily, carrying this professional and personal relationship outside the gate on your own time. It also means looking for that diamond in the rough, that soldier that demonstrates the will and the capacity to excel, and then cultivate that relationship with that soldier. It's not forced or mandated. It's a very much mutual relationship. Now, those remaining soldiers, the ones that you didn't immediately see as the diamonds in the rough, they may just need an example to emulate in order to spur them ahead. Well, give them that example that they need. It's our duty. As NCOs and leaders, it's incumbent on us to develop and improve our subordinates. NCOs train soldiers. It's embedded within the NCO creed that that is our responsibility. That's what we do. Without NCOs, the Army stops. Therefore, you must, of course, place a priority on that creed and take it seriously as a personal and a professional calling. Now, the privilege to do this lies with us. And with privilege comes responsibility. As NCOs and leaders and developers of soldiers, the most important privilege of our rank is the ability to support and serve our subordinates. Remembering the creed, not for pleasure, profit, or personal safety. Okay? Second, lead by example. We are elite, and we are the few. Why? Because only 0.7% of the population is currently serving. And you're an even smaller slice than that. Not very many people get the amount of leadership training that we get and the chance to put it into practice. How often we actually put it into practice is often up to us. Personal appearance goes without saying, right? First impressions are everything. Look the part. Take pride. It's all in the details, and details can make all the difference. Demeanor. Carry yourself with pride, like you have a purpose. No one is more professional than I. Exude confidence and professionalism. Others notice. Guaranteed others notice. Actions. Of course, this is obvious, but it goes along with demeanor. Now look, we exist in a monkey see, monkey do, what's good for the goose is good for the gander type of world in the military. Others take their cues from you, again leading by example. In the Creed, all soldiers are entitled to outstanding leadership. I will provide that leadership. Third, lead by leading. Step up. Stripes don't make you a leader. Stripes put you in a position to do great things or poor things. You're expected to step up. As NCOs, we are expected to provide direction where it's lacking. Take the wheel. Have the answer or an azimuth. What I mean by that is strive to either have the answers to the questions already or to give direction on how to get the answer. Guidance is just as valuable as having the solution a lot of the time. Be prepared for drill. This is taking time between drills to make sure that you have a plan and the resources to execute it. Come to drill with everything you need, and some things that others may need. Practice effective communication. It takes two, one to talk, one to listen. Blasting out information in bulk is no good unless soldiers receive and understand it. So do yourself a favor and make it easy for others to act on your advice and your guidance. Use multiple means of communication, AKO email, civilian email, text, Facebook, whatever, and then follow up. That's an essential piece. You're the NCO. Provide the necessary supervision to get the mission done. Sometimes soldiers forget or just get busy, and that happens at all ranks. Stay on top of things. Fourth, develop others, not just direct subordinates. Mentoring often involves soldiers outside your rating chain and outside your chain of command and even outside your unit, and that's fine. Everybody drives their own bus. Soldiers are responsible for their own success. Ultimate responsibility is theirs. As a leader, you must give them the tools that they will utilize to succeed. The soldier must be clear that he or she must take personal ownership of their own success. And along the way, as a mentor, you will assist them, and they will feel more comfortable seeking your guidance. Ultimately, the subordinate soldier will develop to the point where they're able to mentor others, and the Army goes rolling along. Recognize the potential in your own sphere. You don't need to look very far or wide for somebody to mentor. There will be that soldier with high potential and motivation within your unit or your area of interaction. He or she is that free electron just waiting for a chance to bond with a proton and form that molecule they're destined to be. A little science there. Invest the time and effort. Obviously, this goes beyond the 16 hours per month that you're at drill. Mentorship is an investment. It's an investment in people, in success, and in military posterity. Extracurricular effort is required on both sides. Nobody got to the top of the heap by doing the minimum. The mentor relationship is comprised of two people who are committed to doing more. And this is very important, it has to be a source of satisfaction for you, the mentor. It has to be. Mentorship will not be successful if it is forced, on either side. It's fostered by respect and faith in the leader. If it's assigned, it will likely lead to resentment. Both people must be compatible. This is a long-term relationship, and it's a social and a trust relationship. Ultimately, you have to like and you have to care, both of you. If you recognize the need for it, and you realize that you have an aptitude for it, and you feel rewarded for applying it, it's no effort at all. All that said, there are real challenges for us in the Guard. It's not easy. So let's talk about some of the challenges that we have to effective mentoring. Well, you have to care. That's the biggest challenge, the biggest. Time management. Being National Guard, our time with the soldier is much, much more limited than on active duty, of course. With life happening on both sides, finding the time on both schedules can be very difficult. So planning comes into play here. You have to set short-term goals. Keep the communication lines open. Remember, this isn't a class and it's not a block of instruction, but there is learning. When you decide to accept the stripes of an NCO, you agree to earn them every day. NCOs have to plan, we have to follow up, take care of troops, and this often means long hours, especially at the squad leader position. Realize that there is sacrifice involved and adjust accordingly. Heed the call. Now, there is inherited wealth in the military and also inherited poverty, and I'm not talking about money. And unless the soldiers who have a running start, unless they are willing to put back into other soldiers those talents, leadership, motivation, professionalism, unless they are willing to put those qualities back into it, then obviously the problems of quality and consistency will continue. Strength takes many forms, and the most obvious forms are not always the most significant. Your role as leaders, whatever your MOS and whatever your specific job, your role will be to increase each new generation's grasp of its duties. So what can you do? Think about what you can do immediately after hearing this message. There are some things. Now, how about looking a little further ahead, like the next 3 drills? If you're an NCO, find resources to help you. Even mentors have mentors. If you're junior enlisted, locate that leader that you want to be like and engage that person. I hope you find this helpful, and if you do, share it with other soldiers. And at the end of this video, you're going to see a link to where I store my other videos. And thanks for watching.